into the Media Express. I am Samuel Preston, and this is Tyrell Boyd, the Honest Soldier. Tyrell, when did you start boxing, and what inspired you to become a boxer?
Started boxing the end of my senior year of high school.
All right.
Got me into boxing. I just fought a lot in school, always been real competitive. I've done karate, wrestling, so I was just trying to find the next step.
Okay. So when it came to amateur boxing, how did you get started, and what promotion did you go into for amateur boxing?
I got started, I'll say within like the first 2 months when I first joined the gym. I was kind of shaky on it, wasn't sure if it was something I really wanted to do. But the more I stuck with it, the more kind of like, more natural it felt. It kind of gravitated towards it.
Okay. So when it came to the matches, was it a win or a lose? When it came to lost matches, have you ever lost a match, or how many wins have you had? What's your record?
Well, my record is 30-3 as an amateur boxer.
So out those three, which ones, what lessons have you took for those from your wins and losses?
My first loss happened in the Golden Gloves at regionals. I lost. That lesson told me that you can't leave in the judge's hands. You gotta go in there and get that guy out of there. You gotta have the mentality like, everybody's dead meat. Like, you gotta just go in there and take everyone out. My second loss was like 2 years later, out DC. That one was just, I didn't lose off of skill. He just outworked me, You just gotta stay in shape and always stay in the gym. Cause that one day you not in the gym is that day that guy's in there working his ass off. And my third loss was I guess kind of the same thing.
Right.
You can't be off and on in the gym. You gotta stay in the gym. You gotta stay focused. Cause that 1 second you're not focused, that guy's in there doing what he gotta do to get you out of there.
So as a fighter, it takes a lot of discipline. So one of the key things to success is, as we go back to discipline, what are one of the main things that you got to discipline yourself on to become a top fighter? Or
top thing you got to discipline yourself on is, main thing is just being in the gym every day. You gotta cut out a lot of social stuff. Wanting to go out, hanging with your friends. All the females, getting caught up in social media, wanting to go out and eat, drink and stuff. You gotta cut that short because you gotta prioritize what's in front of you.
Right.
And that's just with anything, not just boxing, but whether it's work or football, whatever, you gotta be all about it. You gotta eat, sleep, breathe it. Being focused is the number one priority when it comes to being an athlete.
What about the meal preps, your workouts? Tell us about your meal preps and what you do to get ready for a fight.
When I do get ready for a fight, I try to juice a lot. I definitely juice a lot because it's a lot easier to work off water weight. You gotta experiment because everything's gonna work for everybody. But for me, for breakfast, I do oatmeal and a banana. For lunch, I just do spinach, tomatoes, pinto beans, black beans, and a little bit of tuna. And for dinner, I'll get like 2 oranges and a bottle of water, and that'd be it.
And when it's all over and the fight all over,
man, chicken box, half and half, cheesesteak, egg rolls, all that.
Oh man. So tell us about what's the toughest fight that you fought so far, and what do you look for in a challenge when it comes to the fight?
Toughest fight I ever had had to be against. Definitely had to be against this Russian dude I fought in Baltimore. The dude, he was just strong, tough. Every time I hit him, he would just keep coming forward. And I think that fight probably gave me the biggest lesson.
Okay.
Because, like I said, as a fighter, you train, you had that mentality to get that guy out of there. But you got to realize the guy that you fight has the same mentality as you.
Okay.
So it was like, this way goes back to being focused, staying in the gym. Because so you got that guy in there who's in there every day. All he thinking about is taking your head off. You don't got time to go out and hang with your friends. You don't got time to cheat on your diet. You got to stay focused. You got to, be focused on the mission.
When it comes to taking your head off, that is not something that you new to, or being a fighter. When it comes to the country, you are in the Army Reserves, right?
The National Guard.
Tell us about that. What made you to get into that?
National Guard, I kind of got into it because I was trying to, in a way, I'm kind of help my mom out a little bit. My mom, she always done so much for me. She's from straight up the boat from Jamaica. So when she came to the States, she's always had it rough. So, being in the military kind of, help try to give back to it a little bit when I can, BJE, rent or whatever.
But what is it about boxing and the reserves that what ties into each other? Like, what did you take from the reserves to now boxing?
Discipline for one. Because you gotta be disciplined, to stay in the gym and to cut weight and maintain your diet. Also, being in the military kind of teach me how to work with a team as well. Because they say boxing is an individual sport, and it's not. You gotta learn how to work with your coaches. You gotta learn how to work with your cut man, your promoter, your management. Right. It's like it's different groups of people you gotta work with when it comes to boxing. So it's not just an individual sport. So I would definitely say discipline and teamwork is what I took from military and brought it to boxing.
How many titles have you won?
I have a 2014 State Golden Glove. I have 4 East Coast championships, and I won a championship in Ireland twice.
And out of all those titles that you won, what makes you stay hungry for more?
Because I know there's people. I think what keeps me hungry is because I started off late. You got a lot of guys out there, a lot of really good fighters that started off when they were like, 6, 7, and 8. I'm coming into the game at 16. So that's 8 years of work I missed out on. So it was like, yeah, I accomplished all this stuff, but you got guys that's been in the game 8 years longer than me that have done way more than I did.
Right.
So I feel like I got to push myself just that much harder because those guys got that 8-year advantage over me. Because, as you grow as a fighter, the competition grows as well. And, I'm not just fighting, just scrubs. I'm fighting dudes that's been in since they were 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. So, so I gotta have that mentality, always be hungry because they've been hungry since they was 8.
Even though you're looking to be at the top of the game, who are some people that have been like some veterans in the game that you have looked up to in the past years? Or any time?
I looked up his name's Cecil McCullough. Looked up to him, he always worked with me, he always stayed in my corner, he always, kept me humble. There's one guy's named Jeremy, he don't box anymore, but that's like my brother, man, he always made sure I had my head on straight. He always made sure I stayed in the gym. Because when I first started, I was kind of off and on, just hanging out with my friends, I was 16. So, he always got me back in the gym. I mean, even as younger fighters I look up to, like Quad, Coach Max, son. I mean, me being under him a little bit, he's younger than me, it kind of taught me, how to stay humble, how to stay focused, how to stay hungry. Because watching him, he's one of those guys that's been in it since he was a baby. So, as someone who wants to be the best, someone that's actually hungry, it's good to have somebody in your corner like that, to kind of keep you focused,
Now, to all those people who you had looked up to or you had took, words of wisdom from, speaking of wisdom, what are some encouragement or words or discipline statements have they given you to keep you focused?
I think it was Jeremy because when I turned 18, and I came back from the military and everything was kind of rough for me financially. And, he was always a good person to go to when it just came with anything I was going through at home. So, he was always that person to always, that kept me positive. So I would definitely say Jeremy. He was just always good, just keep me positive and just, help me keep a clear mindset.
Okay. So now you out of the amateur league. Now you in the pro league this Saturday, June 17th at the Dewburn Arena, 3100 Boston Street. What are you looking forward to? Like, what keeping you pumped right now? Like,
man, what's keeping me pumped is because it's something I've been thinking about, since I was 16. It seemed unreal, to like really like wake up and just be like, dang, like today's the day I really live the moment I've been thinking about since I was little.
Right.
Like, like it's right there, like you can touch it, like you can, like it's right there. Like it's unreal. Like it's not even something you can really explain. It's like anybody that's ever, has something they want to do, whether it was dance or be a doctor or something, when you like, it's like when it happens, you just in that moment,
So it's like that mama made it moment. Like,
yeah, it's like, I've been made it, but now it's not for me to show.
So going into a Saturday, you don't hear no theme music or anything?
I'm coming to YBS Scholar. Yeah, I'm repping Baltimore.
Scholar.
Well, YBS Scholar, a lot of money. That's the song I've been bumping for the past 3 fights.
Okay. Besides boxers, speaking of Baltimore, as we know, it's coming some hard times, and we lost some great people out there that, you know, either there's a DJ like K Swift or there was a rapper like Little Scooter. Who were some people that work had impacted the city that you looked at and say, hey, look, they made it, or they made it to this point before, you know, we had lost that great figure, that great person of ours that was a friend or family member or someone that we looked up to?
I think, believe it or not, I think Scooter definitely made an impact, because he made an impact on not just the youth, but older people as well. I mean, you know, even though he rapped about, you know, about drugs and violence and stuff, you know, he was always into the community. He was always about the kids. And, you know, when you want to build a future or build a foundation, you got to be about the kids. You know, he was always open-hearted. He always cared about the city. You know, his work ethic was just, you know, unimaginable. You know, he was always working, always dropping something. You know, he always had that hunger. You know, he didn't care about who was hot. You know, he didn't care about the Jay-Z's or the Waynes, nothing like that. He cared about him. He cared about what he had to do to progress and move forward. And, you know, and anybody can respect that and look at that, because nobody does anything to just maintain. We go into it to achieve the next level, to be up top.
Right.
You know, like with me with boxing, you know, I'm not just boxing just to be, you know, mediocre or average. You know, I'm trying to be up there. I'm trying to be on the cover of Fight Night. You know, when you do journalism, you ain't just trying, you know, just do a book here and here. You trying to be published all around the world. You know, it's all about that progressing. You know, in Scooter, before God rest his soul, you know, he was progressing. He was going to be up there. He was putting Baltimore on the map as far as, you know, the rap game and everything. So much respect to him.
What boxing promotion are you under currently?
I'm with Shabazz Brothers right now.
What made you become that part of Shabazz Brothers brand?
Cause
out of most of the, you know, brands outlets out there currently.
I went with Shabazz only because I've known him and been around him even when I was an amateur. Okay. You know, he's always been around. You know, he always treated my coach good. And, you know, and that goes back to the teamwork thing. You know, when you got someone that's really taking care of your team, you know, has been loyal to you, you know, you tend to just work with that circle. You know, I already had a relationship with him. You know, I already know what he's about. You know, and he always looked out for me even before I even turned pro. So, you know, it's kind of just me giving back, you know. That's why I stuck with him.
Okay. Anyone sponsoring your ring gear? Or are you looking into any sponsors currently?
Yeah, I got sponsored. It's actually a good friend of mine from high school. We played varsity together and JV together. His name Deontay. He got us. It's called Royalty Clothing. You know, he does he does my shorts. You know, my hoodies, socks, bandanas, whatever. You know, you can follow him on Instagram at nah_switch.
Well, you heard it first here on the Media Express. You can see Tyrell Boyd, the On Soldier, this Saturday, June 17th at the Deep Burns Arena. That's 3031 Boston Street. Here you have it. You want to drop your Instagram and social media?
Yeah, my Instagram is TB_On Soldier. Or you can follow me on Snap at cool_bro.